So episode 3 of Kenobi has aired.
Obi-wan.
And it's really bad. There's no other way for me to possibly describe this show. The show is just bad. And it really hurts me to say that. I swear, like, people think that I'm just hating on Star Wars for the sake of hating on Star Wars, or trying to hate on Star Wars for views or something. I don't think you understand how big of a Star Wars fan I am, especially how big of a prequel fan I am. Whenever Kathleen Kennedy got on stage and announced that Hayden Christensen was returning to play Darth Vader, to play Anakin Skywalker again, whenever she got on stage and said that, or whenever she was on the Disney Plus presentation and said that, I called every single friend that I hadn't talked to in years. Anyone who would listen, anyone who had seen Star Wars, anyone who I knew was somewhat of a Star Wars fan, I called them and told them about it. I was so excited. When Ewan McGregor got on stage and said that he was returning, when he walked up to Kathleen Kennedy and he was like, ask me if I'm playing Obi-Wan Kenobi again.
Can you ask me in front of all of these people, all of these witnesses, can you please ask me, am I going to play Obi-Wan Kenobi again? Yes.
And it seemed like he was so relieved whenever she asked him, and he finally got to say yes. That was such a happy moment for me, because I could see the joy in Ewan McGregor's eyes. And then whenever Hayden Christensen, who is my guy, Anakin Skywalker is my Luke Skywalker, I always said that if Anakin were to get as ruined as Luke Skywalker was in the sequels, I could totally understand, all these people walking away from Star Wars. I could totally understand why you would be doing that, because I wouldn't be able to stay in anymore. I would have to walk away if they ruined Anakin like they ruined Luke, because Anakin was always my Luke. Anakin was my guy. Anakin was my hero. I know it's probably not the best hero to have in the world, because he did, end up murdering a lot of people, including children, and including in this episode, he, snapped a child's neck, which was pretty cool. But I guess we can get right into the Darth Vader talk, because after, with all that being said, I'm a huge prequel fan, huge Star Wars fan, loved it my entire life more than anything. I love Star Wars more than anything in the world, and I just don't care about it anymore, man. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older and it just doesn't matter to me as much because of my age. I don't know what it is, but I don't care about Star Wars anymore. I have extreme Star Wars apathy. It's not anger, it's not disgust, it's not sadness, it's straight up apathy. I just don't care, and it's been like that for 6 months now. It's not just because of this Kenobi show. This just, confirmed my apathy. It really started with the Book of Boba Fett and how bad that was, and we'll talk about the comparisons between those two shows a little bit in this video as well. But like I said, let's get right into the Darth Vader talk. I'm not going to go scene by scene or plot point by plot point in this, because I don't think it's worth it. There's not that many plot points to really talk about. It was kind of just them wandering around. The craziest part, and the only reason why I'm really doing this review, is because of how crazy it is that Ewan McGregor can be Obi-Wan Kenobi and Hayden Christensen can be Darth Vader. That's crazy of me to even be saying right now. But what makes it even crazier is that they can be on screen together, and I can still have this extreme Star Wars apathy. It's so insane to me, because those are two people who I love so much, the two characters that I love so much, the two characters that got me hooked on Star Wars, and the original actors playing them. I never thought I would see this again, and it just sucks. I'm watching this show, and I'm just like, there's no... X-Wing put it perfectly. I texted him about it this morning. He put it perfectly. There's no soul in this show. And it seems like there's no, I don't know what the word is. It's not scale, but there's no epicness to when Darth Vader... I know that sounds like a really cringy term, but truly, that's the only way I can think to describe what I'm thinking of. Compare, and I'll put a comparison on the screen right now. I'll pop up the scenes back to back. But if you think about the scenes of Darth Vader in Rogue One and just how epic they felt, it felt like there was a big moment happening in cinema when Darth Vader appeared on the screen.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
In Kenobi, when Darth Vader appears, it's just kind of like, it feels like a fan film. It feels even worse than a fan film. It feels low budget, feels low effort, and like X-Wing said, it feels like there's no soul in it. And I know the person behind the mask is Hayden Christensen. I know he cares so much, and I know Ewan cares so much, and you can see that on the screen. You can see Ewan is trying his heart out. He's acting his heart out when he gets, in these scenes. He truly is saving the show. He's keeping it above water. They're treading water at this point, and I think they're about to be under, because it's halfway through the show and really nothing of interest has happened for me and for a lot of other diehard fans like X-Wing, who I know really wants to like this show as well as I do. He probably wants to like it even more than I do, and he just can't, because there's just not that much to like. And like I said, insane to say that a show with Darth Vader as Hayden Christensen, or Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader and Ewan as Obi-Wan, can have this type of reaction. As you can see on the screen right here, 88% critic score, 59% audience score, halfway through the Obi-Wan Kenobi show that we thought would never happen. I said that we were going to compare Book of Boba Fett to this Obi-Wan show. Let's compare those two Rotten Tomatoes scores. 66 critic score for Book of Boba. This is, by the way, completed. You know, obviously the show is done now, so we'll see how that compares once Kenobi is over. 59% audience score for Book of Boba. That's exactly what Kenobi is right now. And Book of Boba is, you know, regarded as a really bad show amongst most Star Wars fans, especially a bad show, you know, for Star Wars standards. So to say that Kenobi is right there with Book of Boba when it comes to the audience score is so sad to see. It's so sad to say. I've been looking forward to this show so much for so long, even before it was even officially coming out. This was something that I always wanted to see. Thought we were going to get something that, you know, Star Wars fans really deserved. Prequel fans really deserved, because we didn't get much love at all. None of the prequels fans really got much love in the sequel trilogy or nothing. But this show feels soulless. And say what you want about the sequels. In my opinion, the sequels feel a lot more like Star Wars than this show does. I know that's a really hot take, but at least when Kylo Ren is on screen, it just feels like a Star Wars movie. It feels like Star Wars content. When I see Darth Vader on screen, it feels like a bad fan film. It feels like a low-budget fan film. It doesn't feel like there's any weight to the situation. And like I said, I might throw it up one more time on the screen just so you can see what I mean. But whenever you compare the Rogue One Darth Vader scenes to the Kenobi show Darth Vader scenes, they just don't even compare. They just don't even compare. There's so much weight to the scenes when Darth Vader is on screen in Rogue One, and there's zero weight when Darth Vader is on screen in Kenobi. And there's just so much other embarrassing things that happen inside of this episode, like Obi-Wan running away from Darth Vader. We know that Obi-Wan can't beat Darth Vader right now. Obi-Wan has kind of cut himself off from the Force, Luke Skywalker, Jake Skywalker style. And Darth Vader has been training in the dark side. He's been becoming more and more powerful. He's a fully, you know, realized Darth Vader at this point. He can't win. He has to run. But it's just like the way he's running away just seems so cowardly. They couldn't make him run away a little bit with a little bit more dignity. Like, why is he such a coward? You know how Obi-Wan was kind of sneaking around, I forget what the planet's called, but in Attack of the Clones, he's sneaking around that sand planet. I can't believe it's slipping my mind, but he's sneaking around that sand planet with all of the bug creatures.
As I explained to you earlier, I am quite convinced.
You know how he's like sneaking around, but he's not scared. He's confidently sneaking around, trying to gather new info. Like, he's very much confident in himself. He's not scared at all. That's how I pictured him running away or evading Darth Vader. Not running away, not simply turning around and running away, evading Darth Vader. You know, with some tactical, you know, prowess. Not just being a straight up coward, not just being a straight up baby and running away from Darth Vader. I thought that was extremely embarrassing. And then, yeah, I mean, I really love the way that Darth Vader was portrayed. I think they tried to make him look scary. They tried to make him that scary Darth Vader, which I appreciate. I appreciate the effort. But like I said, like X-Wing said, the soul just isn't there. The Reva character, who nobody really likes that much. I don't think she was that bad in this episode. She didn't have that much screen time. I don't think she was, you know, the reason why this episode sucked. I think that was honestly Darth Vader, which is crazy to say. I don't think it's hard to do Darth Vader really bad, and I don't think they did him extremely bad. I don't think that it held much weight while he was on screen. And, you know, the one word that I keep coming back to is the soul. There's just no soul when Darth Vader was on screen. No soul when Reva was on screen either, but she just didn't have that much screen time. She didn't have enough time on the screen to be able to ruin the episode, so it wasn't completely her fault at all. First two episodes were definitely Reva's fault, but hopefully she continues on this trend and she keeps getting better, because Her performance, her writing, her everything was just totally god awful in the first 2 episodes, and it definitely did improve for this 3rd episode. Hopefully it continues in that direction, but as of right now, man, I'm completely checked out of not just Kenobi, not just Book of Boba, but Book of Boba really caused this. I'm completely checked out of Star Wars, and like I said, it's not anger, it's not sadness. It's straight up apathy. It's indifference. I don't care about Star Wars anymore, and that's crazy to say. Because a year ago, you know, I could get in a Discord call, I can get on a phone call and talk about nothing but Star Wars for hours. I can get on a stream, talk about nothing but Star Wars for hours. But at this point, I'll talk about it while it's a current event. I'll talk about it while the show's airing. Other than that, I couldn't possibly care any less about Star Wars than I do right now. I've never cared about Star Wars less in my life than I do right now. And it's crazy to say this. I'll end on this. I think the sequels are better than this Kenobi show. I think the sequels are better than the Book of Boba Fett. And if I had to choose one to watch so far, I'm choosing the sequels. Out of every single Disney Plus Star Wars show so far, other than The Mandalorian. Maybe The Mandalorian Season 3 can come back and save it. As of right now, I'm putting the sequels over both of these shows, which is so crazy to say. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about Kenobi so far. What do you think about Kenobi Episode 3? What do you think about Darth Vader in the Kenobi show so far? What do you think about Moses Ingram? I didn't even talk about any of that drama. I made a couple videos on that already, though. What do you think about Moses Ingram as Reva in the Kenobi show? And how do you think the Kenobi show and Book of Boba Fett compare to the sequel trilogy? Try to take away the Jake Skywalker stuff and just see, compare the feels. See if Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett feel like Star Wars as much as the sequels do. And let me know what you think about that comparison. If you did enjoy the video, though, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the link to that will be in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.